What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with kyotosomo. Castle level is a 30. Validated also on any of these characters can really validate at level 30, but I'm guessing it's going to be a knight, since that's as high its level and looks like the best gear. Alright, so let's jump into it.
Let's get him, Mr. Pointy.
Alright. So I gotta explore the one way that the traps don't start, just in case there's a mine down here. It looks like there are a couple. Alright, 2 mines down this way. If you are going to have one of these branches in your castle, you should always make it at the start of your like the entrance to your castle, so that people can't kite down it. Like especially if there's no traps or anything down that, like this guy did. Because having just empty space in your castle that you can kite mobs makes it so much easier to go through a castle. I've always said like traps are what really damage the person, not really creatures. Creatures can be avoided pretty easily. Unless it's like everything in the boss room type of setup with webmasters and stuff. A lot of that can be a little bit more difficult. Alright, so there's a smelly archer over there that I can see. So what I'm going to try to do is just drop a volley and just aggro it if I can. I actually went too far in because I ended up getting hit by the mouse wheel, but I should still be able to kill 2 groups now instead of 1, which is good. I just have to pull it back a little bit. I forgot which way that was going. I was turned a different way. Okay.
Now that's good potion.
So hopefully they will come towards me a little bit. 6 minutes on the timer, by the way, is quite high. That makes me think that it is indeed a knight doing it, because knights generally have to take a little bit more time to set up to be able to kill a lot of creatures at once. Like kiting across by like a corner like this, knights are really strong if they can lure all the mobs to come like right around this corner, because they all group up and they can use their basic cleave attack to just deal lots of damage and pretty much not get hit by much either. So it works pretty good for them. Archers do the same thing, they just have to like go a little bit farther back and use volley around a corner, because creatures bunch up and stuff like that, so it works out good.
That'll do the trick.
Alright, so I think I killed pretty much everything inside of this Nope, I didn't. There's still more stuff. If I can kill off the mines, I'll be pretty happy with that. Alright, and then I'll try to kill off these mines. I'll have to use one more potion. I'm still not used to not being able to go behind mines in certain areas. Like, you can't walk behind those mines. It's really weird. Alright, and I do not want to fight this inside of this room, so I'm going to go forward instead. And it looks like there's a nice little spot out here where you can kill stuff. And this is actually kind of... It's interesting, because if the person knew that this was here, they would be able to go here and easily kill it. But since you're the defender and you already know what the castle looks like, it's almost like really good unless someone's attacking your castle multiple times to do things like this. Because now that I see this, it's clear that I should have aggroed everything in that room, came out here, and then maybe went back in for the mines or skipped them altogether. Obviously, as an attack, as like the defender validating it, you have to go back through and kill off the mines. But there's this nice little area here where you can kill off all of the mobs that you aggroed without taking nearly as much damage.
Now that's excellent in execution.
But it's pretty clear that if you're attacking, you shouldn't fight in rooms like that with all the mouse traps and ballista traps. If they use that many points in traps in one room, you should just skip it and either pull it to the entrance or pull it to the back of the boss room, or like an area like this if there is one. A lot of times there aren't, though. Alright, more mouse wheels, and there's some archers in there. Now what I'd like to do, I'm not sure if this is going to be possible though, but I think I got it. Alright, so I managed to do that. This actually looks very similar to a castle that I did just a couple of days ago. I'm not sure if I maybe messed up and added the name twice, or if it was just kind of a copied room from one or the other. I'm not sure, maybe a lot of people are doing this. But I did see a castle that was similar to this, with a bunch of smelly archers all at the end of that, and I can see it working really well, because if you get hit by those mouse wheels and get stunned, you'll pretty much instantly die. And this is actually really annoying for knights to deal with, because with all of the bear traps here, they'll never be able to get close enough to the archers to actually kill them. Archers have a lot easier of a time dealing with this, because the smelly archers all die to one volley. Same with mages. And then he's got this as well. So it's basically just here to set you up to be killed by all of the archers that are here, which is pretty cool. All right, and then webmaster. And then volley one of. I'm gonna headshot one of them and volley the other. And hopefully I can actually kill this before it. Actually, what am I talking about? I have bear traps. They work so good against webmasters. You just have to keep yourself in between, like a bear trap in between you and the webmaster, and it works out pretty good. Alright, and that looks like the end of the castle, so, you know, I could see this being a lot more difficult versus knights than it is for archers. This in particular is very easy for archers, and then a couple other things where I'm able to kite and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you have that one area where if you continue through that room, it makes it a lot easier because there's a nice place where you can fight the mobs. I would almost say like removing that would help, but at the same time, people don't know that it exists. So you really have to watch your replays and see if people are using that room a lot, or if you can use it yourself to validate it. But then, you know, when people are running it, they end up, you know, pulling it out towards the entrance again or something like that instead, like I did basically. I did the second group. I did pull it forward because I didn't want to pull it back and go through the entire trap complex like again and again and again, because that makes you take way too much damage. But either way, pretty good castle. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Next up we have Cue Ball 21. Castle level is a 30, validated on pretty much any of these guys, but most likely the archer or the mage. From pure stats, it looks like the archer has slightly more hit points, but the mage has slightly more DPS, so it could be really any of these. And then the knight has more hit points than all of them combined, not combined, but all of them. So who knows which one he validated it with. We'll just jump into it and try to get through without dying. I've been getting slightly better at dealing with level 30 castles, but I still die a fair amount. I'd say about half of the time I die, which I guess is like what they're probably going for in terms of balance, but I actually made a mistake here. I think you can pull this group from back here without even going on the spike trap, so I took that much damage that I didn't really need to take. And just pull this back to the entrance. It's the easiest way to deal with it. Alright, he was defended, which is a little annoying, but it's okay. You can see how annoying bear traps are for Pete Poundmores to deal with. They're just so big that they hit almost every one of those bear traps, and the stun, and then I think it's the slow after. I'm not sure actually. 85% snare for 5 seconds. So actually he, let's see, briefly stunned and then snared for 5 seconds afterwards. Yeah, it's really difficult for Pete Poundmores to get across those. Same as webmasters and all of the units really, the melee range units, Jimbos. Jimbos are actually not as bad because they have a range to them, like they have a longer range just in their basic attack, if it's on heavy-handed at least. Alright, I think I will actually go in here and hope that the bear trap will keep me alive. I'm just spamming bear traps out. Alright, and looks like I got hit with one punch, but it got blocked because I rolled through it, so that worked out pretty good. So far, this castle's been not too bad. Pretty standard spike room, though. It's just I've switched out for something that deals with these type of units a little bit easier. Bear traps, basically. This one here, it's too out in the open. Like, all of these, like when you use trash mobs like this, and trash mobs are basically anything, and when I talk about trash mobs, it's anything that is, like, 6 or lower point unit that can be one shot by volley. Basically, smelly archers, Cyclopses sometimes survive it, puppeteers won't survive it. All these units really don't survive one wave of a volley, so when you have them out in the open like this and you're able to initiate on them with volley, and they all just kind of die before they actually get up within range to attack you, I think that they always need to be behind a wall, or something needs to be there, like a Defendatron to guard them or something like that, so that they don't all die. So hopefully I don't show you why I think Jimbos aren't that, like, Bear Trap isn't that great against Jimbo. It's very hard to keep him off of you even after, like, the snare doesn't matter as much, is basically the issue here. Is because he can still swing. Because he's slow, he doesn't have to move that far because he's got that range on him. The stun is nice, but the snare doesn't do as much. It still works, you know, decently well, obviously. It's just not as effective as against, like, Mega Muttons and Pete Poundmores and things like that. Alright, so I'll try to get these guys to come towards me. Will that ballista hit? No, it won't. Okay. So I can attack in this corner here and just wait for the Pete Poundmore to come to me. Hopefully he will. But it looks like he's not. I can just shoot something to aggravate him a little bit. Maybe kite back. There he is. So I stunned him on top of the spike trap to make him take some damage as well. I don't know if it was a good idea or bad, but it sounded good in my mind, so I did it. Probably wasn't worth it just because it made me take an extra tick of spike damage that I probably wouldn't have had to take, but oh well. It was fun. Alright. So lots of spike rooms. I actually think you should have a couple Stairmasters in here. Not even just because, like, if I think they're better or not, but just to vary up your damage type a little bit. So if you run into, like, a knight who has, you know, 1,000 physical resistance, but only 700, 600, 700 magic resistance, he'll take a little bit more damage. I thought my game was going to crash for a second. I froze up a little bit there, but it looks like we're good. So again, archers out in the open can be volleyed very easily. Alright, that is a crazy amount of fire mines there. I'm not sure if that will kill me or not, because fire mines have been nerfed so badly. But I don't know if I want to find out. There's not really much that I can do against this either way. I think I just have to hit the very first springboard trap and hope I get a little bit of stun resistance. I did it, I think. Yeah. So I got my roll off while they were going off, so I blocked all of the damage, basically. And if you noticed what I did, I don't know, you could, like, go back and rewatch it or something. What I was trying to do is hit the very front of this, and then I tried to move backwards as well. Let's see if I can do it again. So basically, when you're moving back against the way that the springboard trap is throwing you, so if I'm, like, moving back this way when the springboard's trying to throw me onto these fire mines, it'll give you, like, some negative momentum and won't throw you as far. And so what happened is I hit the very back of this one while moving backwards, and then it allowed me to hit the middle of this one. So basically I got a little bit of stun immunity. I was able to stand up before the fire mines went off and roll right as they were exploding, so I blocked off all of the damage. I think fire mines just aren't worth it anymore, though. I'm not sure if that would have killed me if I got hit right in the center and all of them went off on me, but I'm not so sure. Like, I think it's not worth it. Even if it would have killed me, I think they don't work enough of the time anymore, because that would require me to get thrown literally in the middle of this where as many of them can go off as possible. If I got thrown, like, over here or something, anywhere near any of these walls or on the outside, I wouldn't have died, most likely. I'm not even sure that I would have died even in the middle, because they got nerfed so heavily. But yeah, I think you should try out some Stairmasters. I think they work pretty well. Even if you throw them in with something else, like, I don't know, I would still just do 2 Stairmaster, 2 Defendatrons, and then I don't know how many more points you can throw in there. Some support units though, Dampener, Puppeteer, something like that. I think they're probably the best for what you're going for, which is overall sustained damage. I realize that your castle's level 30 and they're only level 28 units, and so your castle would be similar to mine, but at the same time it would only be like a level it would be 2 levels higher. So I mean, you lose more crowns against lower level people who could possibly get to your castle. I'm not saying take out all of the Pete Poundmores, but against me specifically with bear traps and stuff, Pete Poundmores aren't going to have that big of an impact. But Stairmasters, if I get caught by them, they're going to be really difficult to deal with. And then there's some other creatures that you can use. You can use trash mobs like you had there. Personally, I don't like smelly archers, but like smelly warriors and battering rams and things like that, they're good if you put them in situations where like the person has to enter the room. They can't initiate on it. They can't like volley from afar. They have to go over a trap, and then they're inside of the room with those creatures. They work a lot better that way because you'll take damage if you stand there. Like the volley animation, I can't move away from this when I'm in that animation. So if I go to volley a group of like smelly warriors and battering rams, they're going to hit me as I'm trying to volley them, and then they're going to probably hit me again before the volley does its full damage. So that's why I think they can work okay in certain situations. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have E3B. Castle level is a 30. Validated on this archer here. Higher hit points than me, slightly lower DPS. Pretty good stats all around though. So let's jump into it. Alright.
Is this what passes for a castle these days?
So it looks like there is a pathway up there. I just want to make sure. Yeah, there's pathways on 2 different areas. Let's just try to kill off all the mines first. So I have to explore over here to see if there's any mines. Alright. Looks like it was just that one. Then see if there's a room over here as well. So because there's rooms that are empty over in these areas, it kind of makes me think that everything is going to be compacted in a couple of rooms. So kind of what that tells me is if I can get through like the first couple of rooms easily, I should have an easier time. But alright, looks like this might be the main way into the castle. I have to go back and check that other room real quick. That other segment of the castle, rather. Alright, so there's one more mine right here, and that's not the last one, so I do have to go check that other segment just to see if there's one more mine there. But yeah, he's got at least 2 rooms that he's not using, 3 rooms actually that he's not using, so that like that kind of just tells me that there's going to be more density for the rest of it because there's less rooms and more defense points to use in them. All right, so there's no mines here, and that's the strength of knowing your own castle and having other people run it when you have mine setups like this, because you can see I'm about to get timed out and all I've done is look for mines. It also tells me that running to the end of the boss room is probably a valid strategy. Because if you have to go through and kill off all of those mines and come here, even if you know your castle, you're only going to have about 50 seconds to clear it, maybe a minute at most. But I will try to take the least amount of damage as possible, and if it gets into a bad spot, I may just make a break for it into the boss room. So far, so good. I thought I was going to get hit with a couple of those. So this is where it starts to get a little bit more difficult. I think running past this room is going to be my best strategy. Because this room has 4 ballistas as well, so kiting it even into this room is not a great idea. So I'm just going to kind of go with it. Try to time this out and just go. Just aggro something. Alright, and then there's this. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty strong boss room as well. This could be difficult. I'm wanting to get rid of this webmaster if I can, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I killed off a bunch of those archers with that volley. That's good. But I might die right here. Yeah, I think I will. I have a little bit more time. Spam the health potion. Alright, I made it. Still alive. Trying to kill off most of the DPS first. I realized I skipped some in that room back there, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to go back for it. I mean, I will regardless, just because it's a viewer castle and I don't really care if I die. But if I was trying to complete it even with 1 star, I might not be able to go back and get that room because I might not have enough potions left over. Alright, killed that webmaster off, that's good. Flamio is just wrecking my face right now. Use my last potion. Alright, there's not too much left, it's mainly just a boss. I think Flamio is actually one of the weaker bosses. I think even the one that like has that tail flip that knocks you down forever is more scary because of that stun. I don't know exactly what Flamio does, because I haven't fought him all that much, maybe 3 times. Because he's like one of those special bosses that I think only if you paid for a pack you get, and he'll be unlocked eventually. Alright, so it looks like I ended up clearing the castle. I could get to the boss room, but I want to check to see what's back in that other room, so... Most likely I would not go back if I was playing this for any other castle, because I don't think I can survive this. So, I'm not sure. I guess I just pull this right now. And then I'm guessing there's just 2 mines or something in that room. Alright, so I'll just pull this back here, drop a volley as they're coming, and most of it's going to get absorbed by that Defendatron, which is unfortunate for me. Alright, so that's about all the health I'm going to have, and I'm pretty much dead. So the only thing that's back there is going to be 2 mines on each side. I think I'll just take the 1 star, because there's nothing really else to look at. It's just a, what do you call it, hamster wheel setup room. It's pretty standard now. I've seen them in at least like 1 out of every 3 castles that I go through has that same setup. So basically the castle started off with that spike trap room, into the mouse wheel room, and then it had the boss room with the spikes on the side. So pretty standard setup. It's set up well as also. You know, I'm not able to 2-star it even because of the fact that I just don't have any potions. I can't sustain it enough to be able to get 3 stars on it. So pretty good. These are the castles that I think I should probably rebuild mine if I get to level 30 before the balance. Before the balance changes comes out, I'll build a castle similar to this just to test it out myself so that I can get better at running those type of castles. In case the strategy sticks around and gets maybe even stronger after the balance update. But yeah, pretty good castle. This is number 3, so we're going to end the video here. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of Eurocastles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. I have to update my list very soon. The next time I record Eurocastles, which will be in a couple of days, I will update that list. Actually, when you guys see this video, it'll probably be updated tomorrow or something for you. But either way, that's going to be pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.